This is my outlook on gold. We're going to start from the weekly time frame. Now, the weekly time frame is a little bit tricky. The price action I'm seeing here is like a little bit tricky. It's looking like we are creating a retracement at the same time. It's looking like we are making lower highs, and from lower highs, potentially we should get lower low zones. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like a little bit tricky on the weekly time frame. Or even last week, we are anticipating that okay, this was a lower high, a higher low. Sorry, and from here we should push all the way up. But you see our price drop down. To me, because this is a higher high, higher low, and all this push here is a higher high. So we've not closed below this zone on the weekly time frame for which to say okay, we switch directions on the weekly time frame. Yeah, for now, it's not switch directions on the weekly time frame, but on the daily time frame it's a little bit different. On the daily time frame, we see how we switch structure, we are bearish. So it's not more like a retracement. Like on the weekly time frame, all that drop was just a retracement. But on the daily time frame, it's already a switch of structure because we had this double top here. You get double top is a switch of structure, indicates okay, potentially we are going to make it like a counter trend, whatever, or it's like a switch of structure, double top, then we drop all the way down. But now, this is where I'm getting my own bullish bias from. Is because when we drop all the way down to the zone, what we did was we made a double bottom here. This is a double bottom. To me, I count this as a double bottom. So we have a double bottom at this zone after this drop like that. A double bottom simply means that we want to switch structure potentially. You get what I'm trying to say? So potentially we want to switch structures from being bearish to going back bullish. So once I saw this double bottom, not only that being a double bottom, also it's rejecting off of this last lower high zone on this zone here, because you drop all the way down, you see this drop all the way down to this zone here. So me also saying that, I was like, okay, from this zone, potentially, since this is a double bottom, a reversal pattern, potentially from this zone we should see price go all the way up to this high. But now price is making lower highs, right? Now, if you also dig deep into the structure here, you also see that price is making from this zone here, which I counted as a double bottom. A double bottom, if I've been saying double top, I was wrong, sorry. A double bottom, from this double bottom, this was a high, a low, push all the way up to make this high, low, high. So this was bullish structure. Not until we then drop to make this counter trend. Now after this counter trend, what we did was to make this double bottom here. So me saying this double bottom, I'm like, okay, after a counter trend, we are making a double bottom. Okay, from this double bottom, this basically price telling me that I'm done with the counter trend, and from this one, or I'm done with the retracement, because on daily time frame, this is just a retracement, right? If you are going to say that we are bullish, right, then this is just a retracement. But on the lower time frame, it's like a counter trend. So if we are getting a double bottom after a retracement, this is basically telling me that okay, from this zone, price telling me that I want to use this zone as a higher low zone, and from this zone we should push all the way up to previous highs or even make new highs. Push all the way up, and I was anticipating it last week. I missed this entry here, missed it because once after this double bottom here, I was supposed to enter longs to target whatever high you get, because I was targeting even up to 5k. But I'm going to show you structure that made me close, because I missed this, but I had another entry which was I closed in profit too. So we push all the way up to this zone, and now we are rejecting off of this zone. We rejected off that zone, then we drop all the way down to this zone. Now this double bottom now is no longer valid, because this is the high, a high, a low. Now this is like a lower high. You get what I'm trying to say? Not only it being a lower high, you can also see a head and shoulder. So this is now looking like okay, price might want to even go further downwards. You get, so it invalidates this double bottom that we had here, that is signifying that okay, we want to go to previous high. Price dropping down to this zone invalidates it. So if we are going to continue bullish, we still have to wait for price to give us another reversal pattern before we can tell okay, price wants to continue bullish. You get what I'm saying? Maybe price comes down maybe price from this zone now, potentially maybe we see another, maybe an engulfing candle from here, a bullish engulfing candle, then this will be okay, another double bottom. And yeah, double bottom is a reversal pattern. and price is telling us, okay, from this zone to this zone, that's a high low. You get all that long talk. You get what I'm trying to say. But right now, structure on this is looking bearish. It's looking bearish. So I'm not even trying to enter any longs at all. But my bias is bullish. So that's where the whole little confusion is coming from. With what I know, the chart is showing something, and me, I'm having another bias based on what I also saw on the chart. What I will do is just chill. I'm not going to take any position. I'm just going to chill. But there are different scenarios where I could enter positions, like just like what I just said now. If I get an engulfing candle, like maybe on Monday or whatever, on Tuesday, whatever day, we get an engulfing candle from this zone, right? From this zone here, we get a candle that engulf this candle, and then this signifies to me, okay, this is a reversal pattern. But if not that, another thing I'm also looking at is if price is going to, if since we are making lower highs, this is a lower high potentially. If you are going to push all the way up, maybe if you come all the way up to this zone, around this zone here, around this resistance 4636, I go to lower time frame, I get some type of maybe a reversal pattern, a double top, inverted head and shoulder, a switch of structure, I might continue selling down. I might just sell because we are making a retracement, right? So that means this counter trend is not done. So I'm going to sell potentially to target maybe this low here. So that's where my head is at. Either one of those, I'm just going to chill and wait for the best price action, for me to see the best price action before I enter any position. But now going back to the positions that I had last week, I had only one position. If you go down to the 2 hour, like I said, I missed this. I was supposed to have two positions. I missed this one here after price made at the bottom. I missed it. Price already way up push because I was focusing on GJ. GJ was taking my time. And gold was actually here giving us like good moves. It happens sometimes. So I was supposed to enter here, push all the way up. Now you would have said, okay, since my target was 5k, right? That means, okay, I would have closed at break even. No, I wouldn't have closed at break even. If I had entered here and we push all the way up, one thing I usually have as a rule is if I enter any position, from that position we should be, if it's a long position from where I'm entering, because I'm also always trying to enter at a higher low zone, or in a bearish trend I'm also always trying to enter at a lower high zone. So if I'm entering at a higher low zone, which this potentially at that time, not now, not presently, at that time this was a higher low zone, then as price goes up, price is going to make structure. So as we are going from higher low, we are going to make on the lower time frame, the 2 hour time frame. I use mainly the 2 hour time frame for this. So on the 2 hour time frame, I'm going to look for highs where price is going to make a high, a low, like so we're going to make a higher high, a higher low, continuously like that until we reach my TP. Then what I'll do is to continuously move my LSL to the next higher low zone. To get what I'm trying to say. So on this structure here, if I'd enter around this zone, I will push all the way up to this zone. We drop down to retrace. Then we push all the way up to this zone. Then my SL will then come down to this zone here, around here, or maybe even here, this zone here. Either of those. You get what I'm trying to say. So I would have been on this position. I would have bank on some profit, maybe a 1 to 2, maybe, or a 1 to 1.5, either way, any of those. So once one price started going down to this zone, I think my SL will be around here. One price start dropping, I would have been stopped out. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's it on that. But the second position I had was here. I had these longs from this zone here. I'm going to make it. I had a recording. I'm going to make a TikTok edit. I'm going to also put it on short, so anticipate that too. I'm going to put it. I was supposed to post that a long time, but yeah. Anyways, so this was a at that time, not saying now, at that time, this was the last lower high price made. So we dropping down to reject from that last lower high here. So once I got this rejection, this 2 hour candlestick that I rejected off of this, and enter longs, and we push all the way up. Now look at the same thing I just explained right now. I think you can also learn from it too, so that you can also capitalize on certain profit instead of it closing at break even. You're catching 1 to 1.5 price gives you 1 to 1. I'm not saying those are good, but at least it's something that will, at least it's those little profit like that adds to the boost your account a little bit. So as we push all the way up to this zone, what we did was to make a higher low. So once I saw this higher low, then we push all the way up to make a higher high. As soon as I saw this higher high, I'm like, okay, cool, fine. That means I have secured profit around this zone here. So as we just drop down to that zone, I was stopped out. So I closed around like 40. I entered 0.01 twice. So 40. I closed around $44. Those two positions. So around like $80 on those two positions. Yeah. So that's it for that. So now coming back now to what I'm anticipating for this week. Since on the daily time frame we are looking like we are not done with the retracement, or the counter trend is still like active. So potentially, if price does not have that engulfing candle, like I said, if price does not engulf, maybe price push all the way up to this zone, around maybe something like this zone, we start getting like a reversal pattern. Any of those, I'll continue selling. Yeah, but if we engulfed, like on the daily time frame, that candlestick engulfed, just like I was explaining. So maybe engulfed that candle. I think that daily candlestick was up to here. Yeah, maybe on we get the candlestick that engulf up to this zone. Then from that zone, I'll be looking for longs. Yeah, from that zone, I'll be looking for longs. So that time, I'll be looking for higher low zones for me to enter longs. So potentially that's what I'm waiting for. But right now, really nothing, because my buyers is different for what the market is printing. Again, so we'll just chill and wait for price to give us a certain zone, or like for which to be sure of the trend, or for our buyers to match what the market is printing, then we enter any position we want to enter. So yeah, that's it on gold. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.